All right, guys, so we actually got some pricing for the 2025 Corvette ZR1 has finally been updated on the website, so we can now see exactly how much everything is going to cost. We also have the gas guzzler fee that's been released finally. So we pretty much know everything there is to know about this car at this point. So let's jump right into it. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the vlog. Thanks for pressing play. Today we are going to go over my 2025 Corvette ZR1 build and see exactly how much it's going to cost. Plus, we're going to talk about the gas guzzler fee. This is the channel you can come to for anything and everything Corvette related, so you're in the right place. So just jumping right into it, guys, we are finally able to see the gas guzzler fee on the 2025 Corvette ZR1, and it's actually a lot less than I thought it was going to be, which is great news, and it continues GM's trend on making gigantic horsepower engines while also maintaining a decent miles per gallon rating. So how much is the gas guzzler fee, you ask? Well, it's going to be $3,000. So if you guys remember back when the 2023 Corvette Z06 first came out, the gas guzzler fee for the Z07 package car was also $3,000. So we're looking at very similar miles per gallon here on an engine that makes 1,064 horsepower. That's pretty good if you ask me. I'm not gonna lie, I'm impressed. So basically the ZR1 gas guzzler fee is identical to the Z07 package Z06 car, and with 400 more horsepower. Yeah, like I said, pretty impressive. Anyway, a lot of us were speculating that this fee was going to be significantly higher than it was on the Z07, so thankfully it's not, because it's kind of a stupid fee to pay anyway. So regardless, let's move on to the actual build here. If we go to the actual GM website where we can build the ZR1, you can already see up at the top right, we already have a net price. So it was in fact just waiting for the gas guzzler fee before giving us the price on the online builder here. So we've done this before, we've walked through some of this before, but we never had pricing. So now that we finally do, let's walk through, and I'm going to build my car to the exact T of what I'm going to get once this car is available for me to order. Right off the bat, we're going to choose coupe, move forward to model, and of course we're going with that 3LZ. Move forward again, where you're going to do black. And I'll tell you what though, guys, I've talked to a bunch of my friends, and yeah, this Seawolf here, it is making a hard argument for me to go to Seawolf gray, but I think I'm going to stick with black for now. Moving down though, I am going to go with the carbon flash painted wheels just because it might be a second before I can get new wheels on the car, and those silver wheels just aren't doing it for me. So I am going to go with the black wheels for now, and I'm also going to go with the bright red painted brake calipers. Of course, we have to have that splash of red on the car. Scrolling down a little bit more, I'm not going to do anything with any of the stripes. If I were to do a stripe, I would heavily contemplate the carbon flash stripes, still just the actual carbon flash without any kind of color in it. So that would just be kind of a muted stripe running down the center of a black car. So if I were to do it, I would do that, but I'm going to skip the stripes. Moving on to the interior, we are going to do the adrenaline red Napa leather seating surfaces with perforated inserts, because I think that ends up looking really cool in the car, especially after we select the appropriate seats. So then we're going to scroll down to the seat area, and we're going to select competition seats, which of course will change up that red on the seats a little bit and make it a little more appropriate in my opinion. Because of the red on the interior, we are not going to select red seat belts like I normally do. I'm just going to leave a black color, and then we're going to move forward. In here, we are going to select the ZTK track performance package, of course. Can't go without that. Scrolling down a little bit more, we are going to do a museum delivery. I am going to do the outside mirror covers invisible carbon fiber. We are going to do the dark stealth crossed flags. Scrolling down a little bit more, we are going to do the carbon fiber level 2 package and the stealth interior. Scrolling down a little bit more, we are going to go to front end lift and black exhaust tips. So that is my build right there. That is everything and everything. So this is what the car will look like. Oof, she's a beaut. All right, guys, so that's it. That is the build. Now, there are a couple things I will be adding right after the fact that isn't or aren't on the builder yet, which is going to be, of course, scrape armor grill guards in the front, scrape armor in the side intakes. I'm also going to do GM's carbon fiber fangs, or the carbon fiber radiator trim in the front from GM, because since everything on this car is going to be exposed carbon fiber from GM, I want all of GM's carbon fiber on there so it all matches. With that said, it is going to have carbon fiber pretty much everywhere that my Z06 currently does, which is awesome. That's basically what I wanted to do here. On top of that, we finally do have the pricing, like I said, and my price before taxes is going to be $212,730. It's a fair amount of money, don't get me wrong, but for what you're receiving here, this is a bargain, believe it or not. It is almost impossible to find a car that has 1,000 horsepower with a warranty for under $500,000 to $800,000 in this particular market. So this car is a pretty good bang for your buck when you consider everything else. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to discount it. 212 grand is a lot of money. And this is without a doubt a dream build car. I mean, this thing is going to be absolutely phenomenal. If we check out the interior after adding the level 2 package and the competition seats, of course, it really knocks down the red to the point where it looks really classy in my opinion. I like the splash of red. I don't like the overly done adrenaline red dipped or the natural dip typically, unless you also do the competition seats and the level 2 carbon. That's the only way that I kind of like that look, but this is more subdued, and I think this is the perfect amount of red on an otherwise black and red car. So I really am digging this spec, guys. I think this is going to be a really, really awesome car all around, and this is going to be an absolute keeper. So this will sit right next to my C7 Corvette ZR1 in the garage, and of course, you can't beat it. I mean, it is just an absolute gorgeous looking car, and we can go through a couple different of the setups down at the bottom where you can have the top off, you do the interior or the top on, and of course, the car looks just as good with the top off as it does with the top on, maybe even better. But yeah, guys, this is fantastic looking. I love this thing. Can't wait to get my hands on it. The only option on here that could potentially change would be the wheels, and that's only if I get confirmation that I could have a brand new set of wheels basically the second I get this car, because driving this thing around with silver wheels would kill me inside. And the carbon flash wheels are only a $995 option, so worst case scenario, I could save them for like a track setup or something along those lines. So anyway, let's go through real quickly, and I actually wanted to go through and show you the cost of every option here. So right off the bat, the coupe is the cheapest of the two options available. 3LZ is of course the most expensive of the options available by $10,000. So you save 10 grand if you keep it at 1LZ, but with the 3LZ, of course, you're getting better audio, better interior options like heated and cooled seats and all that good stuff. So it is, in my opinion, a good idea to go 3LZ, especially with the difference in the leather quality. I've always loved the leather quality in the 3LT, 3LZ cars. So moving forward from there, of course, black does not add any cost to the car like Rapid Blue would, or some of these higher end tint coats add a couple bucks. So Rapid Blue is $500, the Sebring and the competition yellow and the red mist and Seawolf about $1,000, or all of them are about $1,000. Moving down, did not do dual roof option. I don't typically dig the transparent roof for any reason, but if you did, it's about $2,300. The wheels here, I thought actually, surprisingly enough, the blue painted forged aluminum wheels were actually priced decently. I thought they were going to be higher than this. They're $1,495, $1,500 basically. And then of course the carbon fiber wheels being 14 grand is where things get crazy. Scrolling down a little bit more, we have a bunch of options for caliper colors now, blue being the notable one here since the ZR1 is typically, you know, the blue accent car, but we got blue, of course, bronze painted calipers, bright red, edge red, orange, and velocity yellow, which I still don't understand GM's coloring names on these things, because bright red should just be torch red. That's what color it is. Velocity yellow painted brake calipers, from what I can tell, is almost a perfect match for competition yellow. So why they don't just call it competition, I don't know. Edge red does not match red mist perfectly, so I get that one's named differently. And the orange painted calipers do not match Sebring orange perfectly either, so I get that. But the ones that do match perfectly, they really should just name the same color. Anyway, moving on, we got the Jake logo if you're interested in that as a center cap for $250. Locking lug nuts for $130 or $120. And then most of the stripes here are about $1,200. And again, I'm not really a stripes guy, but if I was, I would get the carbon flash. Moving on to the interior. Of course, I'm going with the black and red like we've talked about, but we do also have the new option for the habanero Napa leather surfaces. So if you want to go with an orange or a blue, or even the Artemis has stuck around if you're into that color. We also do have the blue stitching available now with the 2025. So obviously if you're going with blue calipers and the whole blue setup with the ZR1, you could have the blue stitching as well. But this is the color interior I'm sticking with. I think it's going to look really, really awesome awesome on the car, especially with, of course, the competition seats, which add an extra $500 to the build. Down below a little bit more, I stuck with black seat belts in this situation because I'm trying to keep the red to a minimum, but at the same time, you could go with any one of these colors for about 500 bucks. Moving down a little bit more, a lot of people like the carbon fiber and suede microfiber wrapped steering wheel. I'm not a Alcantara or microfiber kind of guy, especially on surfaces you touch a lot. I think that it just gets matted down too quickly, so I never checked that option. But if you wanted it, $695. Moving on, we have the ZTK Performance Package, which if you guys haven't seen yet, has actually become available for some of the people in the first round of allocations on the ZR1. GM just so happened to find a couple of these things laying around apparently and decided to offer them as an option for some of the early adopters of this car. So if you're one of the lucky few that got an allocation first round, you might want to check with your dealership to see if you can grab the ZTK package after all. But in my case, I'm doing it, and it altogether is roughly $10,000. You can, of course, choose the ZTK package or just the ZR1 carbon fiber aero if you don't want the stiffer suspension. I actually do. It also comes with the Sport Cup 2R tires, so keep that in mind if you are going to make that option. So either way, that's an extra 10 grand on the build. Scrolling down, the Corvette Museum delivery. I've experienced this once with Shane. If you guys know who he is, he's the thumbs up guy on the channel. He actually had his Carbon Flash 70th Anniversary Edition Z06 delivered to the museum, and I went with him, and it was a really, really awesome experience. So I definitely want to do that in the future. About $1,495, about $1,500 for that, which is, you know, a little higher than I would expect, but at the same time, it's, like I said, it's worth it. Scrolling down a little bit more, we have the mirror caps. Like I said, I want to try to keep all of the carbon fiber on this car GM, so everything matches, but these are priced a little high in my opinion since they are just stick-ons, but either way, gonna have to do it. $1,250 for those. And then of course the dark stealth cross flags, $225. This and the mirror caps I may end up getting after the fact, so those might not be on my initial build, but either way, you're only talking about a couple bucks there. Scrolling down a little bit more, we do have the carbon fiber level 2 interior package, which is a lot. It's almost $5,000, but it does help break up that red in a way that I pretty much have to have it. Plus, I have it on my Z06 now, and I freaking love it. Stealth interior trim package, same kind of thing. Kind of helps black out everything on the interior, and I have it on my Z06, and it is a fantastic option. So definitely have to do that again. And down below that is where you'll see your custom stitching, yellow, adrenaline red, or blue now, all for $495. Pretty decently priced if you wanted to just stick with a otherwise all black interior and just add this as an option. It's not bad, not a bad price. Scrolling down a little bit more, we do have the visible carbon fiber door sill plates, which I contemplated getting for almost $2,000. Again, this is going to be a match to GM's otherwise kind of brownish carbon fiber. So if you want to do something like this might be your best bet if you're getting the carbon fiber from factory otherwise. Scrolling down a little bit more, we do have the front end lift, which has come way up in price since it first was announced at $2,600 now. And the black exhaust tips priced decently, in my opinion, for $395. That's pretty much it. Those are my options there. There's a couple things like the X brace here for $3 grand, I think is insanely overpriced. And then of course the new rear hatch brackets for almost $2,000. No, thank you. I'll get better looking ones elsewhere. So you could realistically just absolutely kill this thing in price if we really wanted to. Just go through here and check all these options and probably get this thing pretty high in price. But at the end of the day, that is my build. And of course, 212 grand, like I said, nothing to scoff at, but she's looking good. I really, really can't wait for this car. Anyway, guys, if you liked what you saw, smash the thumbs up button. I just wanted to bring this out to you to let you guys know that the pricing is available and the gas guzzler fee is officially $3,000. Subscribe if you haven't yet, guys. And as always, stay obsessed.